I finally picked up some Arches 100% cotton watercolor paper. Michael's had a sale on artist papers last weekend, buy one get one, and I couldn't pass that up. I've been using the cotton paper sheets from Strathmore's 500 series and from B Paper Company, both of which have been working really well, and I like them a lot because they're really affordable and still provide a good quality cotton paper. But everything I've read about Arches paper and all the videos on it on YouTube, I knew I'd have to try it. Arches paper can be a bit expensive, but getting them half price made it worth it for me. Arches paper is considered the best on the market for watercolor, so I wanted to really test it. I've cut one of the 9x12 sheets up into 4 sections. I listed out a few ideas, and the first thing I'm going to try is painting Pluto. So now I'm just going to tape this down. I actually decided to go horizontal. I think that'll work out a lot better. Then I used my tape roll to outline the circle for Pluto and went in with a watercolor pencil from Fantasia, which is an Indonesian company, and put in some of the areas where I wanted to keep the white and where I want to put different colors. So now I'm just going over the area with a lot of water. I know arches can take a ton of water, so I really want to see how well this works. I want to use the wet and wet technique, so I'm using a lot of water to make sure it soaks through and stays wet for a good period of time. The first thing I noticed right away was how the paint soaked into the paper and spread so softly. I think this has something to do with the sizing, which is one of the biggest differences between Arches and other cotton papers. The packaging states that it's the only paper mill in the world to gelatin size its watercolor paper to the core, which is supposed to preserve transparency and vibrancy, as well as preventing the paper from being destroyed by so much water. I definitely noticed how well it took the water and multiple strokes without degrading the surface. The packaging also states that paint will lift easily, either wet or dry, but I didn't think that worked very well. Perhaps it's the brush I used, maybe it isn't very absorbent, but I wasn't able to lift much. Glazing on this paper is an absolute dream. I honestly don't know why it works so much better here, but it is just truly heavenly compared to other papers. For me, this is a huge benefit, since one of the beautiful things about watercolors is how they look in layers. So being able to do this easily and have a good result is a big deal. I wanted to see how the paper worked with the different mediums I use on a regular basis. Here I'm using Michael's Artist Loft brand gouache to bring back some of the white areas I failed to preserve. I really like how smoothly it went on, and the difference I noticed between this paper and others is the fact that the colors underneath didn't blend into the gouache so easily, even though it wasn't even fully dried. I also use ink quite a bit in my work, so learning how the ink would react with this paper was important. Since this paper is meant for watercolors, it is highly absorbent, which is great for watercolor, but not so great for ink. It sucked up the ink, and I needed to use more than I think I normally would. However, this isn't a deal breaker for me since I don't always use the ink full strength like this. I think next time I'll try wetting the surface first to see how that works. Here's the finished piece. I love how the granulation in the red iron oxide looks on this. And even though I only did 2 layers with this one, it just makes me so happy. The next thing I want to try is a sunset scene. This image is from unsplash.com, which is a website that has thousands of copyright-free, high-quality photos that I often use for references and inspiration. Overall, I am so pleased with this paper. I definitely understand why the pros prefer it, and I'm super happy I got to try it out. I can't wait to create more art with this. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this.